I said, this is a big problem. We are legitimate. We are providing programs that actually exist. I'm a good example. I'm not talking about getting loans from guys named Louis the Leg Breaker. Luck or talent. The Tuah girl. She said one line on social media and it went viral. You know, Ashton. They've made memes about him. They're making fun of him. Was it the plan from the beginning? Was he like, I'm going to do this, and at some point, my plan is that it's going to go viral. I'm going to get really popular and a lot of followers. And then that's when I'll start making money. Is that luck? Welcome back to episode number 13. And on this episode, we will be talking about obtaining success and how it's obtained, maintained, and how to keep your success going. As you know, on the Facts of Life podcast, the acronym L.I.F.E means something different in every single episode. So today, let's go ahead and start with the L in life. We're going to be talking about luck or talent. You know, in our business, to be a good producer in a sales environment, you've got to be really consistent. And it's not easy doing so. You've got to be pretty talented, skillful. And again, I don't really believe in luck, right? But there's a saying in sales. If you're able to achieve something once, that's luck. You do twice in a row, that's a coincidence. But if you do it 3 times in a row, that's a hat trick, or as known as skill, talent, consistency. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. You know, I'll give you a good example for kids. They're always on social media, right? I'll watch them talk about different people at dinner time. I'm always like, who's that? What do they do? And so one particular person to talk about is, you know, Ashton. He's a big hit right now. He's gone viral. He is a fitness guru. And I mean, the guy has 17 million followers as of today. They've made memes about him. They're making fun of him, all because he makes a video of his morning routine, wakes up, you know, is getting ready, exercises, puts on his shoes, whatever, right? Like it's a whole morning routine. It's a short video. And at the end of every single video, he's always giving some type of advice, something like mindset is everything. You have to put in the hours in order to hustle like me, you know, or whatever it is, right? Something funny at the end, but it's not about fitness. It's not even about working out. Why did it go viral? Is that luck? Is it because he's this big buff dude that's a fitness, you know, guru, half naked the whole time in his videos, and people are watching that? Was it the plan from the beginning? Was he like, I'm going to do this, and at some point, my plan is that it's going to go viral. I'm going to get really popular and a lot of followers. And then that's when I'll start making money. Is that luck or is that talent? And then, you know, let's jump into this one. How about Hailey Welch, the Tuah girl, right? She said one line on social media and it went viral. Everybody knows the Tuah girl, right? Hailey Welch. Kind of leads me into the next part of our episode, which is the I in life. And I want to talk about innovating. Going back to Hailey Welch, which, in my opinion, I think she was 100% blessed with luck. She said one line, it went viral. Now everybody knows her. So now that she's been given the golden opportunity to become famous, you know, over her one line, what do you do with that? Like, where will your talent come in? Or how do you innovate? What will you do to maintain that success? Do you let it slide or build on it? I mean, right now, Hailey Welch has a podcast and it's gotten really popular. So obviously it looks like she is really innovating based off the fame or luck that she has been blessed with and is really riding on that. You know, it's a funny podcast, you know, of her up there just talking about funny stuff, and 60,000 people are viewing it every time it gets posted. Obviously she's innovating, right? And, you know, in a position like that, you're going to have teams of people that will be offering to, you know, hone in on your success to make money off of it. That said, as far as my personal views go, I don't wish for luck or hope for it. I don't think that's a good way to gauge to build a business. Instead, I use my talent, I use my skills, and I innovate, right? And, you know, the story goes back, again, I'm a lender, president, owner of Equinox Home Financing. And we have a special niche offering. And it all goes back because in 2013, I was self-employed and I was trying to buy a home, but I didn't have all the, traditional paperwork to prove my income in order to buy. And here I am. I'm a lender. I provide loans, and I couldn't even get a loan for my own personal house. That pissed me off. I went off on a mission, and I really went to go seek other opportunities. I'm not talking about getting loans from loan sharks or private loans with really high terms and rates, or borrowing from guys named Louis the Leg Breaker. I'm talking about going out and seeking loans that were pretty normal or average. Maybe they're a little bit more expensive, but not really a solution. And after tons of research, just looking, calling, I was able to find, a solution for myself. And after buying my home and moving in, it just gave me a really good idea. And I said, you know what? As a nation in America, we have millions of self-employed people that are in the same position that I was. Can't prove my income. And it's not like we're hiding anything, in case you're out there wondering. No, the IRS tax code legally allows you to deduct and write off certain expenses when you're self-employed as a self-employed individual or company. And by the time you get down to like the final net numbers, it looks like you're broke or like you're not making money. I mean, we're still paying taxes, but it's a different way to calculate, or it's a different formula of how you would get qualified. Therefore, I went out there and made it a point. I had a vision, to innovate and to really provide this product or service for other people like me. Like I said, here we are 12 years later, and this is all we do. This is our specialty. It's a niche, and we have a reputation for it. We built on it, and, we've innovated. And so our reputation for our company is specific to helping people that are self-employed get financing when it comes to buying a home. That takes me into the next part of our episode. The F in life today is fail or fix, right? Trust me, building a solid business is not easy. Lots of ups, lots of downs, lots of figuring it out. And, for me, there was a lot of struggles that I had to endure to get here to where I am today. And I strongly believe the question should not be fail or fix. I really think it should be both, meaning in order to find true success, you've got to be able to fail first. And then when you fail and you find out what is wrong, then you fix. Got to get up again, get up on that horse and start riding again, right? And you're going to fix it this time, and you're going to get better and better and better. Again, you must fail first in order to fix stuff. And so if I could relate that back to our business, again, 10 years ago when we started doing this on a higher level, boy, it was tough. It was a struggle. Why? No one had ever heard of the programs that we do. We were getting calls back like, oh, I can't move forward with you guys. This is a scam. I don't see anything online about this. There's no information. This is over a decade ago. So obviously there's not as much information. So what did I do? I said, this is a big problem. We are legitimate. We are providing programs that actually exist. I'm a good example. But then I thought about it. And I was like, okay, well, perhaps I think that way because I know the truth, but people and, the public, they don't see it. There's no evidence. There's nowhere for them to, really, really find out if we're legit or not. So what did I do? We started making videos. We started writing articles and blogs, and we started building up our website and, started our Google reviews. It took us a long time, but a lot of mortgage companies don't have a lot of good reviews on Google. Well, we're like 800 5-star reviews. So the legitimacy is there. I failed in the beginning, not to anything that I did wrong. It's just because of the nature of the business or the programs that we were offering and no one knew about them. But I had to go in and I fixed it. I fixed it by providing as much material or content, to prove that we're legit and that the programs that we do are legit. And now our online reputation, is so positive. All the reviews that people write, the positive experiences that they've read. And, I love the ones where it starts off with like, oh, I didn't really believe these guys, but then great. They blew my mind and, taught me so much. Those are the things that I was really working towards. So in our case, we failed, but we fixed. But it doesn't stop there. You can't just fail and then fix, right? There's a lot more to it. And that leads us into the last part of our episode today. The E in life, I want to talk about evolving. You can't just fail or fix, but you got to keep on going. You got to evolve into the next stage of your business or your life or whatever it is that you really want to do, right? For us, we really had to sit down and say like, okay, here we are. Where do we really want to go? Where do we want to take this? What's the next stage? What's the next level? So when we sat down and thought about, what some of the problems are in our industry that a lot of people complain about. Look, if you're trying to buy a home and you've gone through the steps, one of the biggest complaints is when you're applying for a home loan, whether it's a refinance or purchase, there's a lot of paperwork. And a lot of companies just have such a huge checklist requirement of items and paperwork that you need. So we worked on that slowly but surely before others. We really simplified the process. We got it to a point where we made it very, very easy as far as the barrier to entry goes. And then we would do a lot of the work for our customers and go above and beyond. And instead of asking them to send us documents, we would ask them who we can call on to get it for them to leave them out of the process. This one simple fix right here of streamlining and simplifying our process made it easier. We used technology. We used our brains. We used our resources. And slowly but surely, one of the biggest compliments that we get, when we're processing loans or working on loans is how easy it was, how fast it was, how little complication there was, because we're taking care of it all up front so the clients don't have to. There's a saying in business, and it goes something like this. If you are not moving forward, you are automatically behind. What does that mean? That means that, if you're running a business, let's say, and you're like, oh, I'm doing so well, I'm comfortable, don't need to make changes, status quo, I'm just going to stay where I am. You're moving behind. Why? Because your competitors, your customers, your employees, your staff, everybody that's involved in the industry, if they're all innovating and they're all evolving and they're all failing and fixing and you are not, sorry, friend, you are behind. You're behind because they're all moving past you. So by doing nothing at all is not evolving. You are going to be behind. So if I can recommend anything, always look at your business. What can you be doing better? How can you be more efficient? What kind of technology are you using? And realistically, I just going back and thinking about this, all these things it just came to me that all these topics or these things that we've talked about, about business in general, right? And just some outlook there. But this applies to everybody in anything and anywhere. So with that said, today's episode in life applies to everybody. Applies to students, athletes, employees, managers, moms, dads, business owners. The whole point is, it's these 4 things that really helped you win. Thank you for jumping on and watching our episode. Please leave a comment or any questions that you have based on what I talked about today, or subscribe if you liked our episode. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and we'll see you next time on the next episode.